Hello, Darshana.
Hello, Rishi. Namaste.
Namaste. Welcome to Pure Presence, the power of being free, with your host, Rishi, on Unity FM radio. And you hear the water in the background, and it just has this outdoor kind of a feeling on the radio show today. And I'm sitting here at Sahaja in an area called the Parvati Valley. Right? Parvati Valley? Parvati
Yes.
Valley. And I have this beautiful being named Darshana in front of me for this interview, for this radio show interview. And also we just are having this kind of joining. We're just really sitting here talking, and we don't know exactly where the radio show is going to go today because we don't have a script, and we want it to be fresh. And so I'm here for 2 weeks in Sahaja, doing some work on the land, the ashram, and we're just so grateful to be here. Right, Darshana?
Yes.
Yes. And on the show today, I'm going to just sort of invite you to just speak from your heart about Sahaja, about Guruji, and what Sahaja means to you. And what is this place called Sahaja, Manta Sahaja? What is this place for you, Darshana?
I would say it is, if you have come on this planet for freedom in this life, I feel this is the place. This is you're gonna find yourself here somehow if you're called in this life to discover your true nature. Then I don't know if there's another place on the planet at this point. I don't know, but I feel it is really the place where you stand the true chance to discover this freedom, which is Sahaja.
Yeah.
Sahaja is the name for this freedom, for this state of being. You're gonna find yourself here in Manta Sahaja.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it about Manta Sahaja that you think opens that space up? What do you feel? What is it about Sahaja that is that creates this space?
I mean, first of all, of course, Guruji.
Yes. Yes.
It is where Guruji lives. It's his home.
Yeah.
It is where he resides. It's that is in itself, of course, what makes this place so special. It is a living ashram. It has a living master.
Yes.
I don't know how many places, how many ashrams there are in the world where there is a living master alive today in the body.
Yes. Yes.
Where beings can come and really get to live with him also, no? To see him every day, to have that ongoing energy field also, no? We are in bathing in his energy field even while we are sleeping. They say that even if you are merely in the energy field of a Buddha, even merely being in that energy field, it already takes care of so much. You only have to be tuned in or to be receptive open,
Yeah.
and automatically something takes place.
Yeah. Yes. And if you can see the presence and the expression for our listeners on Darshana's face, you see this illumination, you see this light. I have always seen it when I see you, and many speak of this, and many have this light presence that this experience brings. And it's like you said, Guruji set the space and the presence for the beings to now enter in to Sahaja and incubate.
Yes.
Just bathe in it, breathe it, experience it as a setting for self-realization.
Yes. Yes. And to really, because as Guruji often says, it takes some time for the beingness, to somehow again reacquire a certain just to sense itself again, no?
Yes.
And sometimes for a while, if you're lucky, you're being put into a place like Sahaja where you're away from distractions and the normal noise and a lot of chit chat.
Yeah.
And you just begin to, you get that time off, from everything, and you can really fully focus just on what Guruji really is pointing to, and because nothing else is really offered here, no? In what the Sahaja, their freedom is the only subject. There's no other subject here, and so we really have that chance to be fully supported. Everything here supports that recognition of our natural state.
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's like built for it, no?
Yes. And we watched it. We were talking before we started the show that we've been. I came here late 2011 the first time to the land and Sahaja, and since then I don't have any idea, but I know thousands of trees have been planted.
Yes.
And many spaces like the one we're sitting in front of are available for beings to come to have quiet contemplation. And in this place, it's made for beings to realize the self, but by being still, from being quiet.
Yeah. So it is already a very quiet place, and you're not really engaged too much into any kind of conversation, and so that external silence already supports you to really drop even deeper into a real silence, no? Into a real silence that is always here.
Yeah. And I like the balance that I have experienced at Sahaja. I watched years ago when I first came. There was talking during mealtime, and there was no guidelines for being quiet and not socializing. And some may think that not socializing is like a rule or something, but it brings a environment so that we can to stop the mind from being distracted or distracting, keeping you from being able to contemplate.
Yeah.
And even though I enjoy this friendship that we have,
yes.
I also know that it's sort of, you can feel and see when a being just wants to contemplate, and you allow the space for that here.
Yeah, and I mean, always what is really being, it is any kind of restriction, what seems as though it is a restriction, is only really to the mind. It feels like it can feel like this initially. A lot of people have difficulties being in Monte Sahaja. They feel restricted. There's no, no one is really interested so much in what you've got to say about yesterday and tomorrow and where you're from and all these things. Initially, you may find that a little bit challenging, but then eventually you come to see the freedom of that, and that it allows you to connect much, much deeper, much, much more intimately. And sometimes we need that. We really need these rules, you may say, while we are not as yet able to be so strict with our own selves also. So the master, the guru, he really knows what he's doing here. He knows what you need. He knows what is most beneficial, not to the mind, but to you, really.
Yes.
And so what often can be challenging for the mind is exactly what you as a self need. And so your mind is the one who is going to find it difficult here. But like Mooji often says, he says, Monte Sahaja is hell for the ego and heaven for a saint.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and you really come to appreciate all these what you thought were restrictions.
Yeah.
You come to appreciate all of this so much eventually that it allowed you to just find a whole nother realm within yourself that you did not really know existed, and we have to support each other here, no? Because very often we are addressed as who we are not in most places. We get and here really who you are is being addressed non-stop all the time, and so that really gets to flower. And who you are not gets to die.
Dissolve. Gets to die. Yes.
Yeah, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Of course I do.
It's really, I would say, the best place on the planet is Monte Sahaja.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And it's really, in my experience, if I didn't see it, it would be hard to really believe it.
Yes.
But when you have the experience, it's a living, it's like you said when we first started the show, this is a living experience.
Yes.
This is a living experience of finding the self that you didn't know you are. Right?
Yes.
And when you find that self, it is so alive. And realizing that it's you, that this is what I am. It's self-encompassing. It's self-evolving. It's self-expressing, and to have an experience where everyone is that aspect of you. You are me.
Yes.
And we are one, and we're all of this. What we thought was perception is the self.
And you're constantly being reminded here, no?
Yes.
Constantly of who you truly are, and that itself always keeps you also in a higher place, no?
Yeah.
That we are getting such high food.
Yes.
All the time, and we are in such high company.
Yeah.
And you automatically you become who you are with, in a way. Or sometimes Mooji says what you love you become. No?
Yeah.
And so automatically, gradually, you just go back into who you really were, but from the beginning. But yeah.
We were talking earlier before the show, and maybe it was last night. I don't remember, but we were talking about being quiet. We were talking about not talking, and of course, this is a set-up show, a radio show, for the listeners of Unity Online Radio, and we're bringing this show and this talk, this content, to other beings so that they could have maybe a listening taste or video if we have a video, they have a listening taste of the experience of two beings, that's Sahaja, Rishi and Darshana. And what you were saying last night is that when you asked Guruji if he was okay with our having this dialogue, because you thought you were supposed to be quiet, and you wanted to make sure that, and I don't mean supposed to be by a rule, but supposed to be as a practice, as a quieting of the mind. And I understand that. I agree with it. It was, I really liked what you described as how things kind of switched, where at first you were very active in the mind, very active talking, and you learned to be quiet. Can you talk about that? What was that experience like, going from the mind always active and into this quiet space that has really brought you so much joy?
It's more that when it comes to speaking about your experience and about the self and about truth, it is more to Mooji often encourages us to first really dive into yourself, no? Really dive in. Don't be too quick to share. Don't be too quick to go out, and just to really he himself did that for years, no? After also after meeting Papaji, he spent a lot of time just in silence before sharing. And so I just why I checked in was that because of that.
Yeah. Well, he's our teacher. He's our master, our guru. Yeah. And he represents, in my mind, he is an embodiment of the Christ, of the Christ consciousness. This is Mooji. This is the Mooji, the Guruji, that the world sees on live streaming at Rishikesh or the satsangs that are offered live. This being is the real thing, and he is a living demonstration of what I see available for myself, and I see myself being pulled into that awareness.
Yes.
I see myself changing into that. Less of the person, more of the awareness.
Yes.
More, and and what goes with that is the experience that the quietness brings.
Yeah.
I like what you just described as going deeply inward. That deeply inward is kind of it's. I mean, I would say for me, it's like just noticing. It's just not. And I also like what you just said. Don't be so quick to have to say something. You don't be so quick to just.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're properly cooked.
Cooked. Yeah.
You know, there often Mooji speaks about that. There may be a time when there are teachers like yoga teachers.
You what?
Sometimes he says there may be teachers out there
Oh, like yoga teachers.
Like yoga teachers, many, and sharing and speaking, and I know that he very much with us. He wants to. It is only out of his. He's just the best guru and wants to protect us and make sure that we have first completely accomplished this freedom within our own self.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Completely before we even think about sharing or instructing others. First secure that yourself, no? Really be fully centered in it and then go. Then of course, if that is your destiny.
Yeah.
But just he's always told us, don't be too quick. And so when you asked me, would you be happy to do an interview, then I just wanted to check in with him first.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've asked that for each of the interviews. Each of the beings that I've interviewed on the show, I've asked for his agreement, approval, so that because I honor him as the teacher, as the master, and as also the one who will guide me in what would be best for
Exactly.
each one, and for myself. Yeah. So I love that. I love and I also really want to say thank you, Guruji, for letting me air this dialogue with you, Darshana, and the others. I want to thank Guruji for having the insight to know that this might be helpful. Maybe this will be helpful for others to listen. And the environment here at Sahaja is amazing. And I just want to say that for anyone that's listening, that if you watch Mooji on YouTube and you like, if something resonates with you, and you hear this conversation with us, something speaks to you, I would say come to Sahaja. Go to the website, mooji.org, and find out how you can come to Sahaja and find yourself. Yes? Yeah. So, Darshana, how long have you been with Mooji?
Since around 2011.
2011.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is when I first met him in Tiruvannamalai.
Okay.
Yes.
You were already in India?
Actually, no, I was in Australia at that point.
Okay.
And I was really looking for a master. And I had read so many different books, and I had read many books, but I had never met the living truth. And so I looked on the internet, where on this planet would it be most likely, and somehow I was guided to Tiruvannamalai simply as a place where many people come from all over the world, many masters. And I was reading about Ramana Maharshi also, and deeply attracted to him and his teachings as well. And just before I went, I also watched a Mooji YouTube. I came across him, but I did not know he would be in Tiruvannamalai. And I had just checked into my place, put my bag down, and I was walking out of the hotel, out of the little guest house. And the very first being that came towards me on a motorbike was Mooji. And so it was, I felt to just drop myself right there. And I did. I really did. I did. I met him, and from that moment I knew already something had changed. Something had changed. By just meeting him. Simply by meeting him. I knew immediately I was in the presence of what I was reading about in books.
Yes.
I was in the presence of something imperishable, no? Like, you're in the presence of the living truth. And I was just, from that moment on, I had nothing else in mind. Nothing, it was like everything, nothing was interesting to me anymore. The only thing on my mind was Guruji.
Did you go to satsangs?
Then only for 10 days initially, but it had moved me so much that when I went back to Australia, I could not think about anything else but about him. Like, I appeared to look around, but actually I was only looking at Guruji, really, inside myself.
Yes.
And thinking about him and what he had been sharing, and it had moved me already so much that I had to be with him. I just wanted to be living with him, actually. And I expressed that. So the following year I went again to Tiruvannamalai, and I said I had heard about this ashram Monte Sahaja, and can I come? That's what I said, can I come? And he said, yes, you come. And I was initially only going to come for 6 weeks. And I'm still here. I've been out just sometimes, but most of the time I've really been living with him. And yeah, just...
That was 2012.
2012 I came here, yeah.
Yeah. And you were on you got on one of the teams?
Yeah, in the beginning we didn't have so many teams. It was only a very small group. But what I did was, when he was sharing satsang, I was always making notes for my own self in the beginning. I was just writing down little excerpts of what he was speaking. And then it grew and grew, and one day I showed him. And we somehow had this idea to also share those little sayings that I was editing. And I also had been starting to take pictures, his pictures mostly. Mm-hmm. And then that somehow became what I was doing here mostly, writing down his teachings and taking photographs. And then we began doing Facebook.
Yeah.
And after satsang, often I put a little excerpt and a little picture from just that satsang and send it out on Facebook, and yeah, it went from there.
It turned into
into my little saver
into what
here.
You do, your new vocation.
Yeah, but I did not know I was going to be doing this at all. Yeah. Even the camera he put into my hand and said, "You take pictures," and I didn't even know I was going to be doing this. But
nice.
Yeah, great. Sometimes you just come here and you think you'll be doing something, but you are doing something completely different. No?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with whatever happens.
Yes. It's always perfect.
Yes. Yeah. I have the same experience no matter what I'm doing. I feel totally, I'm here in service. I'm so grateful to be here, to be helping to do things, but also just to be in the and there's nothing like it's so beautiful. I want to say magical. It's not even magical. It's so mystical and so inspiring. Even when Mooji comes by to see what you're doing, or he's just passing by and he gives you a wave, it's like it makes changes your whole day, like changes like you feel like somebody just filled you up with something, right?
Yes, and it is true.
Yeah. That's great. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a really good time to take a station break. This is Unity Online Radio.
Okay.
The show is Pure Presence, and your host is Rishi. And my guest is Darshana, and oh my God, isn't this wonderful? She's such a great guest, and this show is so amazing and so beautiful. I'm just grateful that Mooji inspired me to have this show. It happened. It wasn't him speaking it, but I was inspired when I left here last year. I really would love to have an expression of what happens at Sahaja. So we'll talk more about this after the break, and we'll be right back.